What's the most valid safety concern that got labeled as cowardice? Night jump training. Paratroopers dropping from planes in complete darkness. Scariest thing I ever did in the Army. Our jump master was Sergeant First Class Nolan. 22 years in airborne. Done over 300 jumps. Guy was a legend. Never hesitated. Never showed fear. We were loading onto the C-130 when Private Dalton raised his hand. Kid was maybe 19 on his 5th training jump. Still pretty new. Sergeant, the wind speed seems really high. Are we sure it's safe? Nolan looked at him like he just asked to be tucked into bed. Wind's within acceptable limits. Barely. We jump. Dalton nodded, but I could see his jaw clenching. He kept glancing out of the trees bending in the wind. The rest of us were already nervous. Night jumps are dangerous even in perfect conditions. You can't see the ground coming. Can't see other jumpers. Just darkness and hope your parachute opens. We took off. Plane climbed to jump altitude. My stomach was doing flips. Could feel the aircraft bouncing in the turbulence. 10 minutes to drop zone. Nolan started running through safety checks. Everyone's equipment looked good. Everything by the book. Dalton raised his hand again. Sergeant, I really think the wind's too strong. I can feel the plane shaking. Nolan's face hardened. That's turbulence. Normal for night operations. You backing out, Private? No, Sergeant. Just concerned about safety. Concern noted. Now stop talking. Some of the other guys started looking at Dalton. I heard someone whisper scared. Another guy rolled his eyes. The loadmaster gave us the 2-minute warning. Everyone stood up, hooked static lines to the cable. My hands were sweating inside my gloves. 1-minute warning. The red light came on. We shuffled toward the door in single file. Wind was howling outside. I could see tree branches thrashing below us in the moonlight. Dalton was 3 people ahead of me. I saw him hesitate at the door when the green light came on. Nolan physically pushed him. Go, go, go! Dalton jumped. Then the next guy. Then the next. My turn came and I went out the door into the screaming wind. Parachute opened with a hard jolt. Then I was swinging wildly. Wind grabbing my chute and throwing me sideways. This wasn't normal drift. This was getting tossed around like a toy. I could hear people yelling in the darkness. Couldn't see them. Just voices in the black. Hit the ground hard. Way harder than training jumps should be. Rolled. Tried to absorb the impact. My ankle twisted but nothing broke. Started gathering my chute. That's when I heard the screaming. Real screaming, not just surprise. Someone was hurt bad. Turned on my flashlight. Saw Corporal Wade tangled in a tree 40 feet up. His leg was bent wrong. Bone visible through his uniform. Medics were already running. More flashlights clicking on across the drop zone. I counted 4 soldiers down with injuries. 2 trees, 1 broken arm, 1 dislocated shoulder. Dalton landed near me. He was fine, but his face was white. Not from fear, from being right. The wind had been too strong. We all knew it now. Even Nolan knew it. Battalion commander showed up 30 minutes later, inspected the injured soldiers, talked to the meteorology team, checked the wind data. Turned out wind speed had jumped 15% between our takeoff and our jump. Still technically within the maximum limit, but right on the edge. Combined with nighttime conditions, it created a dangerous situation. The commander pulled Nolan aside. I was close enough to hear part of it. These injuries were preventable. You had a soldier expressing valid concerns. You ignored him. Nolan tried to defend himself. Sir, the wind speed was within regulations. Barely. And you had multiple warning signs. Young soldiers' instincts were better than your experience. That's a problem. Wade ended up with 3 broken bones. Medically discharged 6 months later. His leg never healed right. The other injuries were less severe but still serious. Nolan got relieved as jump master, transferred to a desk job. Career basically over. 2 weeks later, the commander called Dalton into his office. I was there for something else, saw the whole thing. Private, I read the incident report. You raised safety concerns twice before that jump. Why didn't you refuse? Dalton looked uncomfortable. Sir, I didn't want to look weak in front of the other guys. Let me tell you something. Courage isn't just about jumping out of planes. Sometimes it's about speaking up when everyone else is moving forward. You did that twice. That took guts. The commander pulled out a form. I'm recommending you for jump master school early. We need people who actually think about safety, not just follow orders blindly. Dalton looked shocked. Sir, I'm just a private. For now, that'll change. 3 years later, Dalton made sergeant, became one of the youngest jump masters in the battalion, known for being extremely cautious. Some guys complained he was too careful, but his safety record was perfect. 0 injuries under his watch and over 200 jumps. Last I heard, he's still in. Made it to sergeant first class. Trains new paratroopers now. Uses that night jump as his main teaching example. Says the same thing every class. If something feels wrong, speak up. I'd rather be called a coward than attend your funeral. Wade visited the base last year, showed up on crutches, permanent limp, met with Dalton privately. Afterward, Wade told some of us what they discussed. Said Dalton apologized for not pushing harder on the safety concerns. Wade just laughed. Nothing to apologize for. You tried. System failed, not you. Besides, that night taught me something valuable. What's that? Medical retirement ain't so bad. Got my college degree. Better job than Army ever gave me. Sometimes the worst thing that happens turns into the best thing. He hobbled away, still smiling. But I think about that jump sometimes. How we all called Dalton scared when he was actually the only one thinking clearly. How Nolan's pride cost Wade his career and almost killed the rest of us. How the youngest, least experienced guy in the plane had better judgment than a 22-year veteran. That's what scared me most. Not the jump, not the wind. The fact that we almost died because admitting concern felt like weakness.